U.S. law enforcement is in touch with Mexican law enforcement.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the State Department and Homeland Security are also coordinating with Mexican officials. Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn calls the incident shocking, but not completely surprising.
Everybody knows that the cartels control the plazas, which is all of the area along the northern border, and that they demand payment from the migrants or anybody else trying to move things across their territory.
Mexico's president says the Americans had crossed the border to buy medication and were shot at in a minivan before being abducted, also suggesting a case of mistaken identity during a confrontation between two groups. U.S. officials have not confirmed his statement, the FBI offering a $50,000 reward as the search continues. The wing of a passenger jet clips another plane's tail at Boston's Logan Airport. The FAA investigating the incident, which happened this morning, involving two United Airlines flights preparing for departure. One was being pushed back from the gate by a tow tug at the time. There were no injuries, but passengers were removed to be placed in different aircraft. This just days after a near-miss incident at Logan. The NTSB investigating another Norfolk Southern derailment in Ohio involving more than a 2-mile-long train over the weekend. No hazardous materials leak in this one as cleanup continues from the wreck last month in East Palestine.
The one thing I want to make sure is that at the conclusion of our process, that our recommendations are not ignored.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy also tells Washington Post Live residents shouldn't have to wait years for rail safety improvements. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What the cops were up to this morning. Sunny, 74 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar. Some clouds could move in later. Low of 38. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. A woman was killed in a shooting in the east side this morning. John Herrick reports.
IMPD says that shooting happened around 2 o'clock just off of South Arlington Avenue and south of Washington Street. She was found with gunshot wounds in the middle of the street. Police say a man who was near her was taken into custody as a person of interest. If you have any information, you should call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD ID'd the woman later as Dorothy Brinker this afternoon. The toxic waste brought to Indiana from the Ohio train derailment was sent to a landfill in Putnam County, and that's in Congressman Jim Baird's district.
My interest is maybe pausing this delivery process until we can identify those characteristics that are necessary to make sure it's safe.
The governor's already doing that with third-party lab testing. Baird tells All Indiana Politics that the EPA dropped the ball in failing to notify the state before bringing that soil here. The Indianapolis Zoo has an announcement. Jaden Arnold reports on how it's to make a trunk load of noise.
The Indianapolis Zoo recently announced that Zahara, a 16-year-old African elephant, is due to give birth in early October. This event is groundbreaking because it will be the first time in the world that a calf has been born through artificial insemination to a mother who was born through the same procedure. A recent ultrasound revealed the calf's little trunk.
It's gotta be.
Oh my gosh.
That's
it looks like a little trunk. Looks like a little trunk kind of flapping.
The birth of its new calf will mark the completion of a third generation in the zoo's elephant herd. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IU men's basketball picked up a big win yesterday against Michigan, despite trailing by double digits in the second half.
I thought everybody that played, man, just kept making plays, and I thought the two plays that Race made down the stretch from a defensive standpoint, the two steals were probably the biggest two plays of the game.
Indiana head coach Mike Woodson talking about Race Thompson's defense that helped them seal the win. The Hoosiers play in the Big Ten tournament Friday in Chicago. Their opponent, though, hasn't been decided yet. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
The winter blues are almost behind us. We can't wait to get out of the house and be more active. It sounds great, but your achy joints don't agree. There's time right now to do something about that. Tony Katz here. Stop with the steroids. Stop with the possible surgery chatter. Now there's a better way to get lasting relief. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. QC Kinetics uses healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then placed directly in your achy joints. It can restore and repair that damaged tissue and get you moving again without pain. The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Talk to QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. The call is free. You have nothing to lose, and the timing is right for you to enjoy the best time of the year. Call QC Kinetics now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN, 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at inbound 69, just a touch slow. 92nd Street down to 82nd, and everything around the loop looking pretty good as far as 465 goes. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a great day today. Our high temperatures upper 60s to near 70 with a mix of sun and clouds. Lows tonight in the upper 30s, and we're in store for a cooler day, upper 40s during the day on Tuesday with a mostly sunny sky. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll get to some clips of Trump over the weekend speaking at this conservative convention, CPAC in D.C. He actually, he said something, I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe that he said it. We'll get to that here in just a few minutes. Hammer first. We start this segment. I don't like starting the segment off with these Monday crime updates, but I feel like we're the only ones that are talking about it.
Right. Because if you listen to the folks over at the mayor's office, it's Pleasantville outside. Nothing going on. Crime is down because we're not setting a record. That's all you need to know. But the real reality is that at least 7 people have been shot, with 2 of them being killed just in the last 24 hours.
Jeez.
24 hours, 7 people shot, 2 killed. And the latest incident brings Indy to at least 200 people shot or stabbed in the first 66 days of this calendar year.
I feel like that we never find out what happened to the aftermath of these homicides either. We see them reported, but then I don't ever really see any. Sometimes we see follow-up. Sometimes they go unsolved.
A lot of them go unsolved.
And part of the reason they go unsolved is because witnesses who might know something don't have any faith in the criminal justice system.
Right.
Zero faith.
I've kind of done a 180 on that because like a year or 2 ago, I would look at people who didn't want to talk to the police and I'd think, oh, okay, you're just trying to protect your buddies here, snitches get stitches, whatever. But now I understand. Like I saw what happened in Lawrence where these, neighbors reported gunfire happening next door. The police came. Those folks got a slap on the wrist, cut off the GPS bracelet, and more gunfire started happening. So why would anybody want to put themselves through that when you've got Ryan Mears over at the prosecutor's office that's going to put those same people you just ratted out right back out in the street?
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's a real problem within, fighting crime, the IMPD, and I'm trying to come up with witnesses. It's a gigantic problem because of that revolving door of the criminal justice system. And it seems like, as FOP President Rick Snyder keeps saying, especially when he tweets it out, crime is not slowing; it is surging in this city, and it's time for a change, man.
Woman in front of the daycare center, she did everything right. She told the police. She tried to get a restraining order on this lunatic, but he was allowed to get right back out. And guess what? He killed that woman in front of children at a daycare center. So I've completely done a 180. I understand, and I hope law enforcement understands why I'm saying this. I totally get why people don't want to talk to the police right now, because the incompetent boobs that are supposed to be locking away these bad guys are so bad at their jobs. Nobody wants to have a target on their chest for when these people get right back out on the streets. I totally get it. So CPAC has been a big conservative convention for a number of years. The Conservative Political Action Conference or Committee, whatever you want to call it, CPAC. Man, it just felt like there was no juice. There was no energy in the building this year. Now, Tony Katz was broadcasting live from there. Relay Indiana. Thank you for sponsoring Tony Katz going to CPAC. But just listening to Tony, following it online, speaking with some friends that I know were there, it was boring. It was a snooze fest, which is odd because Donald Trump was there, Nige.
Well, you know who wasn't there was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And I don't think he would have been there anyway. I feel like the Republican Party is pretty fractured right now and very tribal. Are you a DeSantis guy or are you a Trump guy kind of thing?
Right.
And that might be part of the reason. And by the way, the Democrats and the establishment media love this fracturing of the Republicans. It's very a splintered group right now, and you see it here, there at CPAC.
So the biggest star in the Republican Party is probably still Donald Trump. He was there, but the crowd wasn't the same. And maybe this has something to do with the economy. Maybe there are other options going on, but you didn't have that fun, energetic feel. Because go back, the last couple of years, Donald Trump, still hasn't been the president, but they still had a little bit more mojo. They had more energy. That wasn't the case here. Now, we are hearing some reports. You talk about that fracturing of the party, Nige, that this is from Fox News. Donald Trump and his team are doing like focus groups on new nicknames for Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. There's like a focus group involved here.
Wow, that's where those campaign dollars are going? Those donations?
Would you like to hear some of the ones on the list?
Yeah.
Ron De-Establishment, Ron Dishonest.
Dishonest, I got it.
And Tiny D. What are you laughing at, Allison?
Tiny D.
Tiny D.
Well, I still haven't heard my favorite, though. Ron De Sanctimonious. Is that on there?
I just don't think that's resonating with people. And the report also states that they're trying to dig up any dirt they can on the governor, his wife, Casey.
Of course. He's got big competition if DeSantis decides to run. That's what they do. That's what these people do.
So Donald Trump was clearly the star at CPAC. Nikki Haley spoke, but man, it looked like a Marlins baseball game. There's a few people in the front row, and the rest of the seats were empty.
It looked like a Biden town hall where 20 people in folding chairs would show up.
Right. So she's not moving the needle too much. Pompeo was there. He's not moving the needle too much. But Donald Trump, his followers, his supporters, they're as loyal as they ever have been.
And it was a pretty good speech. Like Tony Katz said earlier, it was policy focused. It was policy driven for the most part.
The most part. Which brings us to Donald Trump talking about the current president.
This is the most dangerous time in the history of our country, and Joe Biden is leading us into oblivion. He's leading us into oblivion. We all smile when he falls downstairs and things. It's cute. When he falls off his bicycle, it's good. You know what amazed me? That the reporters didn't catch him when the bike was going down. They're standing right next to him. They let him fall. It's amazing.
They let him fall.
I'm surprised.
Well, they said it was cute when Joe Biden falls. And he fell again this weekend.
Very emasculating, by the way.
Like he stumbled going up the stairs again. It wasn't a full fall, but there was a couple hold your breath kind of moments when he was walking up the stairs. Here is Donald Trump at CPAC talking about China.
And I will implement a 4-year plan to phase out all Chinese imports of essential goods and gain total independence from China. We have to do it. We have to do it. I will hold China financially accountable for unleashing the China virus upon the world. And I will again withdraw from the WHO, which stands for We Hide Outbreaks. We Hide Outbreaks.
Yeah, that's one of the things Trump did. I'm done with the WHO, the World Health Organization. And immediately after Biden took office, where do I sign up?
4 Americans kidnapped in a Mexico border town over the weekend. So Donald Trump talked about how we need to take care of our borders more so than anywhere else in the world.
And instead of spending hundreds of billions of dollars to defend the borders of distant foreign countries, under my leadership, we will defend our borders first.
It's okay to care about what's happening in Ukraine, but when you've got Americans being kidnapped in Mexican border towns,
it's horrific.
It's horrific. It's a mess. And we've all seen the photos of what's happening at the border. So he wants to focus on what we're doing in our country more so than Ukraine. And this was kind of the mission statement, if you will, from Donald Trump this past weekend.
And if you put me back in the White House, their reign is over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
It would have been better if he would have ended it with, I am vengeance. A la Batman.
That would have been solid. I would have enjoyed that, to be honest with you. Now, those clips are great, but I have a feeling the one that you're going to like the most, Nige,
yes,
the one that I think is going to resonate with you more than anything else is when Donald Trump channeled back to his old days on Twitter and brought up a certain former adult film star.
To bring charges against me for now ancient, no affair story of Stormy Horseface Daniels. No attraction.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he said it.
We got a horse face.
We got a horse face reference. I mean, the original tweet, I'm looking at it right here, October 16th, 2018. Federal judge throws out Stormy Daniels' lawsuit versus Trump. Trump entitled to full legal fees. Now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer, which was Michael Avenatti.
Yes. And I believe, if my Beech Grove High School education is correct, that's the first time that a sitting president has called a porn star Horseface since Andrew Jackson. All right, Matt Bear standing by in the WIBC Traffic Center.
Looking at Lawrence right now, southbound 465 at East 56th Street. That is a vehicle fire. And isolated to the right, shoulder just moved out of the interstate, but still causing stop-and-go traffic back to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl, a fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg. For breakfast at participating Wendy's, limited time only. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We are on social media at Hammer and Nigel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because we got Biden Madness coming up later on. But we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're streaming live on the WIBC YouTube channel right now. And man, it's a beautiful day. 74 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And coming up next, you heard me mention Beech Grove a moment ago. A celebrity sighting in Beech Grove this past weekend. We're going to talk to somebody who ran into Will Ferrell at the Beech Grove Walmart.
That was real?
That was real.
That wasn't a hoax?
No. My buddy Mike was there. We're going to talk to him next.
You don't have to be officially engaged to start looking at engagement rings together. I'm a jewelry consultant here at Shane Company, and we have couples come in all the time to see our great selection. A lot of them like to pick out their top 3 rings. They make it a date, and it's fun. With so many options to create a one-of-a-kind ring, you may not know where to start, and that's where we come in. We're here to help. Shane Company has over 1,000 engagement rings in every price range, from sparkling pave styles to elaborate halo designs. High-quality rings in yellow gold, white gold, rose gold, and platinum. For your center stone, Shane Company offers all shapes and sizes of natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and a broad spectrum of natural, colorful gemstones, from over a dozen colors of sapphires, to rubies, to peach morganite, and more. Come see us at Shane Company today, and have some fun picking out your engagement ring together.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended-release B vitamins.
There's the good parts we all think about. The crackling of wood on a cold winter night, the warmth and glow in the room. And then there's the other part. The stale campfire smell, the potentially dangerous creosote buildup. It's easy to forget about the importance of fireplace maintenance. The certified professionals at Chimney Solutions Indiana can keep your fireplace clean and safe using trusted products and repair techniques. Call 317-757-6979 or go to chimneyindy.com.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Yeah, Hammer, I saw that stuff about comedian and actor Will Ferrell wandering around the Beech Grove Walmart over the weekend. I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was just one of those things where somebody saw somebody that looked like him and it was just a joke. But apparently that's not the case.
No. And my buddy Mike ran in to Will Ferrell and talked about it. Mike Ernest joins us now on the drivehubler.com hotline. So, Mike, take me through how you ran into Will Ferrell at the Beech Grove Walmart this weekend.
Yeah, no problem. Can you hear me okay?
All good, brother.
Okay. A friend of mine from high school posted that she spotted Will in the parking lot. I was just pulling up in the Kroger, and if anybody knows Beech Grove geography, you know that the Kroger's right across the street based from Walmart, so I just drove over there, and as soon as I pull into the parking lot, I saw the crew wrapping up the scene, and Will was definitely the tallest one there. That's how I found him. Just drove up and they were filming this scene. I wasn't sure what it was for yet, but got out of the car, and when they were done, he just started mingling with, half dozen or so people that were there. And I just walked up to him and said, "Can I get a picture, sir?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And we took the picture, and I told him that I was a veteran, and when I was deployed to Iraq, we would watch his movies when we didn't have missions or anything, and would be a tent full of soldiers laughing. And he said, "Man, thank you for sharing that story. I'd love to hear that, and thank you for your service." And we shook hands, and that was that.
They're doing some sort of road trip style documentary about Will Ferrell, I guess, and they randomly stopped in Beech Grove, and it was, I guess, totally random. Was he didn't go to the Walmart, did he? Like he didn't go to the shampoo aisle, did he?
No, I don't. I think they said it was really random, but after he left, I talked to the crew, and they said they're doing a coast to coast documentary on Will, and that they just had stopped in there randomly. And I asked when it was going to be out or where we can watch it, and they said they weren't sure yet, but it was definitely going to be on a streaming device.
Okay, so nobody brought up the reason why that Walmart was infamous, the world-famous Walmart fight. That didn't get brought up?
No, sir.
Well, A lot of the pictures you're seeing shared all over media sites is the face of this guy, Mike Ernest, having a conversation with Will Ferrell at the Beech Grove Walmart. Last thing before we let you go here, Mike, how many people were around? Like, because I know in Beech Grove, news travels fast. How many people were there?
I'd say probably 24 people. There wasn't no security or anything. It was just his crew and him, and that was it. I mean, it was pretty chill, and he was really cool with everybody. It was, you hear some stories about celebrities, being stuck up, but he was really cool and down to earth. It was awesome.
Well, right on, man. I'm glad you got a chance to speak with him. And again, thank you for your service, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, Will Ferrell was wearing a "In Fauci We Trust" shirt. I'll kind of roll my eyes at that.
This weekend, I had on my shirt that listener Drake had purchased for me that says, "I've done more for science than Fauci has." I so wish I were, around that Walmart this weekend. We could have got dueling shirt pictures side by side.
I mean, is it Anchorman for Will Ferrell on the list of best Ferrell movies?
For me, it is. I know a lot of people would probably say Elf because they watch it every Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, somebody that's in broadcasting, it's Anchorman, and it's not even close.
Well, Elf's not even in my top probably 5. I mean, it's Anchorman, Talladega Nights, probably Anchorman 2, believe it or not, was really good.
Old School get in the mix?
Old School, Semi-Pro. Blades of Glory was hilarious with the guy that played Napoleon Dynamite. So Elf's not even in my top 5.
Allison, we got some booze news.
Or do we?
Set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd. One by one.
We are gonna read booze news because it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Hammer and Nigel presents
Booze News, Booze News.
Yeah.
Time for Booze News. So, Hammer, there's an entire Tennessee town that's covered in fungus right now, and they're blaming the makers of Jack Daniels.
Oh, no.
Apparently, Jack Daniels built a bunch of those giant barrel warehouses in 2018.
Okay.
They store and age their whiskey, and since then, black mold has quickly begun coating the homes and streets and public spaces, and they're saying it's Jack Daniels.
That's not supposed to happen.
Fault. So we here at Hammer and Nigel Records have a new tribute for the folks in Tennessee.
Jack Daniels made me sneeze.
It's a country song.
Problems at the distillery. There's fungus in the air, it's in my hair, and in the trees. Jack Daniels made me sneeze.
Like the harmony.
I just wanted some to drink. They say it will not taste as good if they clean it up, but I wish they would.
How about those steel guitars back there?
Wow.
Suck on that, George Strait.
By the way, another underrated Will Ferrell movie I'm reminded of is The Campaign.
The Campaign is good.
Zach Galifianakis and Jason Sudeikis.
And how do we miss Step Brothers?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so there you go. Will Ferrell causing a stir, a ruckus in Beech Grove.
That Walmart, man, it's probably like the tourist attraction in Beech Grove for one reason or the other. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration. What is the Prather Profile and what does it include?
When I first started to practice, I'd come up with a panel on blood work because when I was going through the lab tests that they were offering me, the panels weren't thorough enough. Mm-hmm. There wasn't anything that I considered up to par. So I designed out a panel, and then I went to the labs and said, hey, could you bundle this and make it cheaper for my patients? Because this is the standard of what I would like to get. So the Prather Profile is now in all the major national labs as one of the profiles that they offer. Mm-hmm. But it really covers anything from A to Z that could be off. And so it gives you a good basis of where to start, and then you can branch out from there. It really leaves no stone untouched.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today.
Yeah, guys, there's a lot of people out there talking about testosterone, but you got to make sure and do your homework, do your research. Go to a provider that you can trust. I'm talking about the Low T Center. Low T Center, they specialize in men's wellness, and they check all your levels, not just your testosterone levels.
At the Low T Center, they really are your one-stop shop for all things men's health. So if you want to get an annual health checkup, or maybe you need it for work, some work requires a health exam. Get it done at the Low T Center, and it's covered by most health insurance. Worst case scenario, it's less than $100 cash pay, and they cover everything. Not only is it testosterone, but they can check your prostate levels, thyroid, liver, kidney functions, cholesterol, glucose, all that. Get an appointment today with a Low T Center near you. LowTCenter.com. That's LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A fatal shooting this morning, 74 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on the radar, low 38 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. A woman was killed in a shooting on the east side of Indianapolis this morning. John Herrick has more.
IMPD says that shooting happened around 2 o'clock just off of South Arlington Avenue and south of Washington Street. She was found with gunshot wounds in the middle of the street. Police say a man who was near her was taken into custody as a person of interest. If you have any information, you should call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD ID'd the woman who was shot as Dorothy Brinker later this afternoon.
Allison, we got some booze news.
President Biden is vowing to always support the nation's firefighters.
Promise you. You've had my back and I'll have yours.
While speaking at the International Association of Firefighters Legislative Conference, Biden, who has pledged to be the most pro-labor president, told the crowd he'll continue to push to protect the right to collective bargaining. Norfolk Southern says they're making broad safety adjustments after a third train derailment in just over a month. According to a company email, they plan to reduce train length to try and prevent future accidents. They're also mandating that trains over 10,000 feet use distributed power, something the company told CNBC other railroads use as a safety measure. One of your congressmen says it was wrong for the EPA to drop toxic soil off at a landfill before giving Indiana a heads up. Kurt Darling reports.
That soil came from the Ohio train derailment to a landfill in Congressman Jim Baird's district.
I think we need to understand the local people, the local officials. We need to know when that material is moving through an area.
He tells All Indiana Politics that he and the rest of the state found out third hand that the soil was being brought to Indiana. The EPA claims they did inform the state, but both Baird and Governor Holcomb refute that. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may have noticed some problems with Twitter today. The social media platform admitted that pictures not loading and some broken links were because of an internal change made by the platform. CEO Elon Musk later called the social media site brittle. Nearly a month ago, users were having a different issue where they couldn't post to the site at all, but it looks like most of those issues have been patched up. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
With traffic at 335, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, this is a real ouchie on the south side. It's eastbound 465 at US 31 crash. Right lane block, traffic stop back to Harding Street, State Road 37, moving towards the end of the line. But the closer to the crash you get, the more you bog down. Also, the ramp from northbound East Street to eastbound 465. It's partially blocked by this crash, and drivers are very carefully merging onto 465 using the Gore Point. It is not ideal. That ramp is backed up. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road, or on North Shadeland, drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Should be a great day today. Our high temperatures upper 60s to near 70 with a mix of sun and clouds. Lows tonight in the upper 30s, and we're in store for a cooler day, upper 40s during the day on Tuesday with a mostly sunny sky. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Rilford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in studio, certified firearms instructor and Second Amendment attorney, host of the Gun Guy Show, Guy Relford. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm great. And thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon, 8401 East Highway 36. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, and accessories. Check out my buddies at the Fort at FortLibertyFirearms.com.
Did you see what Biden said last Wednesday at this some House Democratic conference in Maryland? He's going to ban assault weapons come hell or high water.
Yeah.
Oh, look out. Somebody had their pudding that day.
That old chestnut quote. Well, let me read you what he said, because you're going to like this. I know it may make some of you uncomfortable, but that little state above me, Delaware is one of them, has the highest rate, or one of the highest rates of gun ownership. But guess what? We're going to ban assault weapons come hell or high water and high-capacity magazines. When we did it last time to reduce, reduce mass deaths. That's the quote.
Yeah, well,
Joe Biden.
First of all, it's not, even if he could get it through Congress, which I don't believe for a minute, it'd be stricken down as unconstitutional. And we're frankly going to see there are already assault weapon ban, quote unquote, coming out of the different states that are going to make their way to SCOTUS before he could ever even think about getting this through Congress. I really think this Supreme Court is going to come out with a ruling saying a ban on so-called assault weapons, which are really just semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines, is unconstitutional, given the new test that the Supreme Court has defined for what's constitutional and what's not under the Second Amendment. But separately, to say we reduce violence or we reduce murders or
mass deaths is what he said.
Well, it's a lie, because the government's own National Institute of Justice, which is the research arm of the Department of Justice, came out after the 94 to 04 so-called assault weapons ban, and they did a report and an investigation research at the request of Congress on the issue of whether they should renew the assault weapons ban that was set to expire in 04. And they looked at it and said, because so-called assault weapons are used in such an incredibly small fraction of crimes, less than 2%, that any continuation of this ban would likely have minimal effect, if any, and too small to measure. So it basically came out and said that the ban for 10 years had no effect whatsoever on violence. And so the guy's delusional, because his own government at the time came out and said it had no effect at the time.
He's just paying lip service to his radical base.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all it is. He knows he's not going to be able to do anything.
Same thing with free college, right? We're going to pay off all your debts, free college.
Well,
he knows it's not constitutional, but now he can blame those evil Republicans when it doesn't get passed.
Well, that's right. Plus, in the 2020 campaign, he made all these promises to groups like Moms Demand Action and the other Bloomberg groups and the Brady campaign and the Gifford Center and all these other groups. Said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do what you want me to do, which is get in there and ban assault weapons. So those people listen to every speech he gives, and they got a little check they're either going to put on their list or not. I'm going to ban assault weapons, check. I'm going to ban high capacity magazine, check.
And that keeps those donations rolling.
Absolutely.
Through.
Exactly. So they look at that and say, "Well, yeah, oh yeah, he's paying lip service. He's doing what we want him to do, even though there's no feasible way that's ever going to happen."
So let's bring it a little closer to home here. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, but the current prosecutor in Marion County, Ryan Mears, he's looking to eliminate due process from the red flag law. The red flag law currently exists. That's the same red flag law that Mears dropped the ball on when it came to the FedEx massacre. But now he wants to basically eliminate due process.
Yeah, and there was a bill introduced this year, Senate Bill 295, and it did exactly what you described, Hammer, in that it basically said before you get any due process in the form of a hearing where you're represented by counsel, where you can make your own argument, where you can confront the witnesses against you, where you can provide your own exculpatory evidence, before any of that would happen, just based on a judge hearing one side of the story, they find probable cause that you're quote unquote dangerous, with you having you have no participation in that. Right? It's just an allegation. It could be completely frivolous.
So somebody just
litigation.
makes up something about somebody, then that person's gun would be taken away.
And I've defended those cases. I've defended literally made up allegations that someone's dangerous.
Jilted lovers.
Soon to be ex-wives or husbands, jealous co-workers. I've had that case. I had a case involving two neighbors who had an ongoing dispute over where they left their trash cans. And the neighbor in this dispute with my client knew he was a competitive shooter, and he was a sporting clay avid shooter, and would see him toting his guns out there, and he said, "I know, I'll get him." And after they had an argument about their trash cans, he went in and called the cops. "Yeah, this guy's crazy." He pulled a gun out of his car and pointed it at me, and only through Ring doorbell evidence do we establish that didn't happen. He made it up. But under Mears' bill, and I say Mears' bill, it's being pushed by the Indiana Prosecutors Association, IPAC, but it clearly was motivated by Mears calling for changes in the law, because he tried to scapegoat the law to say, well, there's defects in the statute that prevented me from filing that case in Marion County against the FedEx shooter.
Bull crap.
There was nothing there's nothing that would have prevented him from pursuing this, having that guy declared dangerous and taking his guns away, and making him a prohibited possessor so he couldn't buy more guns. So what he now says is, well, we need to make these people prohibited possessors as soon as a judge finds probable cause, meaning no due process. And I said, absolutely not, over my dead body. And thankfully, even though the bill was introduced by a Republican, which is heartbreaking to me, and someone who's been pro-gun historically, I had the opportunity to have a series of meetings on it, including with the committee chair for courts and criminal code, and laid out the problems with due process and why no one could say they're anything remotely similar to a 2A supporter if this thing goes forward. And I'm happy to report it's dead, in the sense that bill didn't get a hearing and didn't get out of the Senate in time to get over to the House, because we're now sort of at halftime, where if a bill didn't survive and advance in its originating chamber, it's dead for now.
So your testimony helped kill that.
Well, it was, I mean, I had a whole series. It wasn't testimony because it never got a hearing, but it was private conversations where I was able to, to sit down and express my opinions, and those opinions have merit, because you can't really argue that it's consistent with due process to strip somebody of a constitutional freedom before they've had an opportunity to defend themselves.
So Guy Relford won and Ryan Mears 0 when it comes to this, right?
Well, I wasn't the only one involved, but
no, we're giving you the full credit.
Yeah,
you get the dub here, Guy.
But I will say I did.
It's not Monday, everybody else day. It's Monday, gun day, and I'm giving you the win here, my friend.
All right, well, I'll take some credit, because I did do most of the talking. I'll tell you that much.
Guy Relford with us. We were having a conversation off the air right before we came back on about this NBA player named Ja Morant. This is a guy that has got amazing talent. Probably one of the most dynamic young players in the league. The league's really put a lot of stock into this guy. He's got his own signature shoe, all that kind of stuff. But he's a bit of a knucklehead.
Yeah.
His group allegedly was the one that was harassing the Pacers team bus. Yeah. Right? His group, his cronies, his entourage, having like the laser pointer out and somebody pointing a gun.
Right.
Not the first time that gunplay has been involved in Ja Morant.
Right.
And now he does some Instagram live video this past weekend where he's got his firearm out. Well, the team has basically agreed to unofficially suspend him. He's saying that he's taking time away, but it's called what it is. It was a suspension. And how can people be this dumb, guy? He wants to be like a gangster with his firearm instead of being the face of the NBA, one of them making tens of $millions a year.
Well, exactly. And you know, what's incredible to me, it shouldn't be because we see it happen over and over in other contexts. But what's amazing to me is these people get themselves in trouble because they decide to do something entirely knuckleheaded, which is bad enough in itself, but then they document it, they video it, and they put it on their own social media, in this case, Instagram. And that I mean, so it's making the incredibly bad decision is one thing. And again, I just saw the video just a few minutes before walking in the studio because I thought you guys might want to talk about it. And he's in a nightclub. It's very, very late or early in the morning, very, very, very late at night or early in the morning, depending on your perspective. But he's shirtless. Okay. Hell, we've seen Gronkowski do that, right? So take your shirt off in a nightclub. Who cares? But at one point he's got a gun, apparently his left hand, and he just brings it up and he waves it in front of the camera like, ha ha, aren't I cool? I've got a gun in the nightclub. So he documented it. He videoed. It's a selfie. It's a self-videoed post that he made on Instagram, and on that basis, because it's not his first rodeo, as you said, he's had other failures of judgment. And I first looked at this, and first of all, isn't it sad that it was so much a self-induced error? You know, it is self-caused error. But at the same time, as a lawyer, I wanted to look at it and say, okay, well, what's the law in Tennessee? Can you have a gun in a nightclub? Does he have a license to carry? Was it against the law to consume alcohol while you're carrying a gun? And I wanted to look at the legal issues, and then immediately I went back and I said, okay, guys, sit down. Stop thinking like a lawyer. Start thinking about like the NBA or like this guy's agent, and say, can you continue to do this kind of, engage in this kind of behavior and expect to have a viable NBA career? And the answer to that's probably no. He
would rather have people view him as Mr. Hard, Mr. Thug Life, than be the face of the NBA. Like, how stupid is that?
And this guy making like $40 million?
He's
God, I'm watching the video of his dunk last season at Gainbridge Fieldhouse versus the Pacers. I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, this kid can literally jump out of the building. Well, not literally. He can damn near jump out of the building. He's an incredible athlete and incredibly skilled. He's getting paid.
But in terms of responsible gun owner,
he's a knucklehead. So now he said, I need to take some time out and get some help. I mean, I don't know if he's blaming substance abuse. Was he drunk at the time? I have no idea. But what's disappointing to me is just that a guy who has that kind of, is this young and has that kind of potential career seems to be dedicated to damaging his own career to self-destruction at this point.
It's that entourage, man.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of the entourage. The same people you grew up with are going to bring you down. Your job, Morant, you're better than those people now, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the reason you got rid of your entourage, Jason. I know. It
is.
I mean, the hemorrhoids, I think we called them.
The hemorrhoids, right.
Yeah.
Some of them we've had to break off.
Sometimes you just got to move on.
Where can people find more information or continue conversations?
RelfordLaw.com is the best way to get a hold of me. RelfordLaw.com.
Guy, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, friends. This is Patty Spittler with Pet Pals TV. I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, but the telephone can intimidate me. Because of my hearing loss, I can't hear well on a regular telephone. Now with my cap telephone, I'm making contacts in a busy world. My caption telephone through Relay Indiana allows me to read what the other person is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more about CapTel, the caption telephone. Read what you're hearing.
So I spend a lot of time out in my garage, especially in the spring and summer when the weather's nice, watching TV, the beer fridge is out there, but my garage floor had always been dirty and cracked. It had never been taken care of. And I thought, you know what? I saw the job Galaxy Concrete did for Casey Daniels. I'm going to have them out to my house. And they did not disappoint. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is totally out of this world. One of my neighbors came by and asked me if it was epoxy. And I said, no. That epoxy is the old standard. What Galaxy Concrete Coatings used, this is better. It's polyurea, and that is the new premium standard for coatings. And that is what Galaxy Concrete Coatings used on my garage to make it actually look brand new, spotless, easy to clean, won't fade. And I was able to get back in my garage within a day. That's so much better than waiting a week on epoxy. Check out their website to see before and after pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com and switch today.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha. Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication. My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life. Twice. And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP.
Where are your life's most important memories stored? In your basement, right? Cracks in your foundation and high humidity could mean water's coming in your basement, eventually causing flooding, and you'll lose all your precious photos and memories. Crossroads Foundation Repair travels all over the region, repairing foundations with the highest quality service. Call now and get a free sump pump with full basement waterproofing system. Read our 5-star reviews at crossroadsfoundationrepair.com and call 844-975-6735.
Living tobacco-free is important to a healthy lifestyle. Make this your opportunity to break free.
Are you ready to quit?
Quit Now Indiana is now offering a new customizable quit plan called Pick Quit.
Pick Quit allows you to choose from a variety of tools that work best for your quit journey.
Pick Quit is a better way to break free from tobacco.
Get the help you need.
No lectures.
No pressure.
Just free help.
Go to quitnowindiana.com today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel from 3 to 7 p.m. all week long for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Kiss on Saturday, November 25th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
We have got some KISS tickets to give away here in just a few minutes, but until then, Matt Bear, it's a beautiful, sunny, 70-degree day. How are the roads?
Well, they're pretty good right now. We do have a problem on the south side. It is a crash on the on-ramp from northbound East Street to eastbound 465. That ramp is open, partially blocked. Traffic slow to man. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Man, enjoy this weather while you can.
It's amazing.
73 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. The high tomorrow, 49. And then I think the highest temperature I see in the next 7 days is 52.
Yeah, welcome to Indiana.
So enjoy this weather while you can. Went a little long with Guy Relford, as we normally do. When the gun guy gets rolling, you just let him do his thing. But we've got some big, fun stuff coming up for you next couple of hours. Number one, Biden Madness. Biden Madness returns at 4:48 today. We will pick the winner from Friday's matchup and have an all-new head-to-head for you coming up. That's at 4:48. Now, you, Big Nige, brought a cooler in of various beverages.
All clear mason jars filled with various flavors of moonshine.
Oh, baby.
So you know how we have beer sample Fridays at 5:45?
Yes.
We're going to do Moonshine Mondays.
Moonshine Monday is coming up.
This is like the real stuff. Like I think we did a tasting a couple of weeks ago. My wife's aunt knows some people there in Decatur County. And this is in the stuff you get at the liquor store. This is stuff that was made in a shed in the woods.
We may go blind today. There's a very distinct possibility. We're going to take a sip of this, and that's all she wrote, man. So that's coming up. We got a lot of fun things to get to. And if you missed any of the Chris Rock special on Netflix, he finally addressed what happened with Will Smith, the slap, and we've got some audio of that coming up as well. So don't go anywhere. Biden Madness, Moonshine Monday, Chicks on the Right, they're all coming up, and Kiss tickets. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Hey there, it's JMV. If you have clogged drains, listen up. There are some clogs a plunger simply cannot fix. That's when you need a professional, and I highly recommend the team at LD Smith Plumbing to handle any water problem in your home, especially clogged drains. They have the know-how and the latest equipment to find the clog and remove it. They're truly water's boss. In the frustration of clogged drains, visit LDSmithPlumbing.com today and request an appointment. That's LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
You know, home financing has a language all its own, but Golden Oak Lending speaks mortgage, and they love translating it for their customers. With your home values reaching all-time highs and their low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home. The average homeowner has gained $64,000 in home equity since last year alone.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments for 2 months? With Golden Oak Lending, you can do that. Get started with Golden Oak's free mortgage checkup. Yes, free. Risk-free, no paperwork. They're not going to ask you for your credit card. They want to build trust and a relationship with you. All you have to do is give them a call. 317-706-GOLD. That's 706-GOLD. Ease those financial burdens in as quickly as 2 weeks. Golden Oak Lending, 706-GOLD. Get started today. NMLS 114937.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. If you've been putting up with water issues at your home, how about taking advantage of $100 off a water tune-up from C&J Water? Well water or city water, you need to stay on top of your water quality, and C&J can do a performance check on your softener and filter, a water analysis, a sediment filter change, a resin refresh, and a couple of bags of salt. Preventive maintenance on your water system works. C&J, they're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a tale as old as time. More construction in Circle City. One of your congressmen is also not happy about contaminated soil moving to Indiana, and they waited until the last second, but the Indiana Pacers took care of business Sunday. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the White House on what's more important to the president, energy security or reducing fossil fuels. A decision expected soon on an oil drilling project in Alaska.
President Biden infamously ended prospects for U.S. and Canadian oil production when coming into office, stopping the Keystone XL pipeline construction and pulling permits for drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Reserve, or ANWR, in Alaska. But now another could be decided upon this week. The Willow Oil Project in the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska could provide 180,000 barrels of crude oil a day and employ 2,500 people in mostly unionized jobs.
Fox's Eben Brown. Environmental groups oppose it, but it has bipartisan support from Alaska's congressional delegation. The FBI is searching for 4 U.S. citizens kidnapped in Mexico after possibly driving through a cartel checkpoint.
Now, President Obrador said this morning that these Americans who crossed into Mexico were there to buy medicine. There was a confrontation between groups, he said, and they were detained.
Fox's William Lajeunesse. It happened just over the border from Brownsville, Texas, in an area where 3 cartels are fighting for human and drug smuggling routes.
It is one of 6 Mexican states already on the State Department's do not travel list. 7 other states, it says, think twice about it. Out of 32 Mexican states, only 2 are considered safe from homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery.
The Americans were in a minivan with North Carolina plates. The White House says U.S. and Mexican officials are coordinating. A Massachusetts man accused of trying to open an emergency exit during a United Airlines flight from L.A. to Boston and then trying to stab a flight attendant. He's facing federal charges, arrested last night after they landed in Boston. Mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow up 40 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More construction. Sunny 73 with a clear radar downtown. You've got a low of 38 later with some clouds that could move in. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The city of Indianapolis has introduced another construction project. This time it's the Meridian Street Corridor. It's just one of several necessary projects, says District 2 City County Councilor Keith Potts.
We have an outdated road funding formula that comes from our state legislature.
And that needs to be fixed so Indy can increase road funding, says Potts. A woman was found shot on the east side around 3 o'clock this morning on Oak Avenue. That's just off South Arlington Avenue and south of Washington Street. She was pronounced dead at the scene after being found in the street with multiple gunshot wounds and was later ID'd as Dorothy Brinker. Police have taken a person of interest into custody. It is a man who they believe knew the woman. The toxic waste brought from Ohio to Indiana was sent to a landfill in Putnam County, which is in Congressman Jim Baird's district.
My interest is maybe pausing this delivery process until we can identify those characteristics that are necessary to make sure it's safe.
The governor's already doing that with third-party lab testing. Baird tells All Indiana Politics that the EPA dropped the ball in failing to notify the state before bringing the soil here. 2 babies were dropped off at Safe Haven Baby Boxes in Indiana last week. Baby Box founder Monica Kelsey knows it had to be a hard choice for the parents of the 2 children.
To the 2 parents that surrendered their newborns, thank you.
One of the babies was taken to a fire station in Elkhart, the other at a fire station in Indianapolis. The Safe Haven Baby Boxes organization says 26 babies have been safely taken to boxes across the state since the first one was installed in 2017. The Indiana Pacers got it done at the buzzer yesterday.
Halliburton against Beverly. Here's a long 3.
The call of Tyrese Halliburton nailing the game-winning 3 against the Chicago Bulls on Bally Sports, Indiana. The basket put the Pacers on top by 3 with less than 3 seconds left. Indiana plays Philly tonight. That game's at 7. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Why does We Grow Hair Indy have the best hair transplant results? Because they have the best technology. And I'm living proof of it. This is Rob. I'm out and about in the community for this radio station, and I feel so much better because We Grow Hair Indy has the technology that restored both my hairline and my crown area. And this year, they can restore yours too. Call them right now at 317-522-2995. Here's Darren Andrews to explain.
Having that strong hairline again completely changes the way you see yourself. It makes a huge difference. A lot of people think the crown cannot be transplanted. It's actually an area of specialty for us with our multi-unit hair grafting.
My hair is going to grow the rest of my life. I'm very happy I called We Grow Hair Indy. Call right now for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard in hair restoration.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison Long, slow down coming into downtown. It is eastbound 70 from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. South side still sweeping up the ramp northbound East Street to eastbound 465. It is open. You just have to make careful on your entrance there. Also on the south side, eastbound 465 slows from Man Road to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. With Jackson Hewitt, be 100% certain about your taxes and get 50% off tax prep. 50% is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, low temperatures in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, we start off with clouds. They decrease through the afternoon. Windy with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
We have got a loaded hour for you. Biden madness is on the way, but in order to get you ready for that, why don't we just all sit back, relax, and check in with the wheelin', dealin', hair-sniffing, kiss-stealing Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Happy birthday, dear Alvin. Katanji drowned Jackson.
I have a feeling you may be hearing that clip coming up sometime this month.
For Biden madness.
So we mentioned this earlier. Listen, everybody trips and stumbles once in a while. Everybody has that moment where you think there's one more stair and there's not, and you look like a moron.
All the time.
But when you're the president of the United States, should it be normal to have difficulty walking up the stairs of Air Force One this much? Because Biden stumbled again this past weekend.
It was up the stairs. Fell up the stairs, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I've done that before. And I was extremely inebriated. I'm not proud of it. It was after we moved back from Texas, probably 2009, 2010. We had a welcome back party.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up with a giant bruise on my thigh the next morning.
Ooh.
And I said, Lindsay, where does this giant bruise come from? She goes, you don't remember falling up the stairs on your way to bed? I go, nope. So, yeah, maybe the president has a couple bruises he has on his thighs there.
But when you know the cameras are watching you, especially now, right? You got to lift your damn feet up.
Like he's 80.
Can you get the yips in terms of walking upstairs?
Some guys get the yips or the shanks in golf.
Right.
They can't hit a golf ball properly. You're thinking about it too much.
Right.
Joe Biden's got the yips when he's walking up the stairs at Air Force One.
John Lester couldn't throw the ball to first base.
Right.
But, eventually he figured it out. Joe Biden, the leader of the free world, can't lift up his old decrepit feet just to get onto Air Force One. Now, there's the viral video of him really struggling. This was probably about a year or two ago, where he falls and he gets up and he falls again and he's holding onto the rail for dear life. That was pretty bad. He's had a couple different slips since then. Now, normally, you would think the media would call this out because I'm old enough to remember when Donald Trump was walking down like this slippery thing at West Point like around the time of the Army-Navy game.
The ramp. Yeah, and he was walking gingerly because he didn't want to slip.
And you had people like Joe Scarborough and all the liberal talking heads talking about, is there a health concern? Is there a health issue? Joe Biden falls all the time. Falls up the stairs, falls off his bike, and we're supposed to just look the other way. Fetterman is in the hospital right now. We don't know the condition of Fetterman. There was a picture that came out today, but we don't know how recent that was of Fetterman inside of Walter Reed. But we're supposed to look the other way. So I don't want to hear any more stuff about, well, Donald Trump never turned in his doctor's report, or look at him hold that glass with two hands.
Yeah, the two hands thing.
Which was weird, I admit. But my God, look at the folks right now on the political left. I'm a big believer in whataboutism. I'm going to make that perfectly honest. Because when you're dealing with politics, I think you have to be completely transparent. You don't get to criticize Donald Trump for being gingerly slow on a slippery ramp or drinking water with two hands when your guy can't walk upstairs and falls off a bike.
And not only that, and we'll get to this in just a second, but, the idea of a competency test for the president is a ridiculous notion. Okay.
Emily tweets at us at Hammer and Nigel, start using the lift to get him onto Air Force One. Like the old ladies when they get on that chair thing and it takes them up.
Yeah, in the movie The Gremlins.
Yes, that's exactly
it. And the Gremlins rigged it and it shot her out of the second story window.
Could you see Joe Biden flying through the air like that? Put a cape on him and just tell everybody he's Batman or Superman. Jill Biden, the good doctor, says the idea of a competency test for her husband, or really any elderly politician, is ridiculous. Now, this is because Nikki Haley's speech at CPAC, where she went up there in front of a half-empty auditorium and said, hey, I think some of these old cats need to take a test. And, well, the good doctor was asked about that on MSNBC.
Nikki Haley, one of the Republican candidates, is calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we would never even discuss something like that.
Why? Why would you not even discuss that? Have you seen your husband? As a matter of fact, let's jump in the hot tub time machine here and go back to when Joe Biden was asked about whether or not he would take a test.
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
So maybe based off of that answer,
test,
we should be giving a test.
Oh,
and
test.
Then, are you a junkie?
Take a test where you're taking cocaine?
Are you a junkie? What the hell are you talking about? Let's get into this Chris Rock special, because I watched this from the beginning until the end on Saturday night.
I fell asleep, quite frankly.
It wasn't his best work.
Yeah.
There were some belly laughs in there. I thought the beginning was a lot better than the end. So this was a little bit over an hour long. It was live on Netflix. This wasn't something that was recorded. It was live.
First time they ever done anything like this.
And the beginning had some good belly laughs, but he saved the juicy stuff for the very end. This is when he was talking about the slap. Will Smith jumping on stage at the Academy Awards and slapping him. So here's Chris Rock joking about the physical differences between him and Will Smith.
First of all, I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size, okay? We are not. This guy, Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do a movie with my shirt off.
I like this.
If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I got on a sweater. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part? He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City. I played a piece of corn in Pootie Tang.
I love the New Jack City reference.
Love Pookie and their tears coming down his eyes, smoking that crack. Here's a little bit more, because this was probably about 10 minutes long, right? The final 10 minutes of his show going into what happened with Will Smith.
Y'all know what happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows I got smacked in the Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears. But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You will never see it. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No. It's never gonna happen. No. I took that hit like Pacquiao.
And this is how he ended the show. And I want to get your thoughts on this, Nige, because it seemed like a very odd way to end not only his comedy show, but the whole story itself.
And a lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back that night? Because I got parents. That's why. Because I was raised. I got parents. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
Slams the mic down, walks off the stage.
That's it. That was the big takeaway.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, it's somehow now worse because, or more embarrassing because it happened in front of white people. I mean, I don't even understand what that means, really. Other than they were at the Oscars last year. The Oscars has been criticized for not being diverse enough and all white. But, I mean, maybe if you would have inserted that joke somewhere else, it would have been funny. But that was the crescendo. That was the mic drop moment. Is Whitey.
He started yelling a little bit, calling Will Smith some names, stuff we couldn't play back here. Again, it wasn't his best stand-up, because I love Chris Rock, and he set the bar so high for himself.
He did eviscerate both of them, though. Talking about Jada Pinkett and how she cheated on him with, her son's friend, and then they went online and talked about it the next day.
The jokes about Jada.
Yeah, they were harsh.
Woo. Chris Rock even said in the special, you can't repeat any of these jokes at work. And he's right. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Looking at Rockville Road, it is backed up both directions between Girls School and Country Club. Eastbound 72 downtown, long delay. It's just slow, though. Not quite stop and go yet after Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic. West Street to the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. With Indeed, you can attract, screen, and interview candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got sunshine, 73 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and we've got some tickets to give away to you. How about this? Kiss. Kiss is coming to Indy Saturday, November 25th. It's the end of the road tour. Gamebridge Fieldhouse could be the last time you see Kiss. I say could. So if you want to be at this show, be caller number 9 right now. Not going to make you play a game, just caller number 9. 239-9393. It's courtesy of our friends at Live Nation. Go see Kiss. Caller number 9, 239-9393. Is This Anything? Next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
It's Furnace Madness at Peterman Brothers.
That means when you install a new qualifying high-efficiency AC unit, we'll include the furnace for free.
And we'll install it next day, guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
Take advantage of this incredible savings for a limited time.
Visit yourfreefurnace.com to schedule your free furnace installation today. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Inspiration grows here, the Indiana Flower and Patio Show, March 11th through 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center, presented by Indiana 811. This is the ideal place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Stroll through this year's Indianapolis Landscape Association Feature Gardens, where spring is in full bloom and bursting with color. From landscaping and outdoor living to kitchens, baths, and more, don't miss the Indiana Flower and Patio Show. Plan your visit and save on tickets at indianaflowerandpatioshow.com.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it! Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg near you or at helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I am going to run some stories by you. You break down all the information and give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not? We start with this.
Okay.
Dateline, Florida. A Florida person who identified themselves as Ashley Cream called for a Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day at a recent zoning board meeting in Boca Raton. Here's the plea to the board.
Florida has the largest per capita population of sugar daddies in the U.S. Sugar daddies are responsible for college educations, cars, homes, rents, and the occasional body enhancement, supporting our local economy. Requesting that you decree a Sugar Daddy and Mommy Appreciation Day on March 10th to honor those who have given us so much.
Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day.
Yeah, this is something, especially in Boca Raton. I've been there a couple of times. I mean, that's where the money's at in Florida, man.
That's where the retired rich dudes are at.
Now, as far as Ashley Cream is concerned here, who appears to have extremely large breast implants, wearing like this tight black dress, some sort of a blonde wig. I really don't know if it's a man or a woman. Those breasts can't be real. It's a joke.
Sounds like she's the inspiration for that old country song, I Like My Women Just a Little on the Trashy Side.
I mean, you could type here. I'll retweet it right now at Hammer and Nigel. You can judge for yourself. But she The board was speaking about the storage of flammable liquids and asked if there are any questions on the subject. And that's when Ashley brought up the Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day.
Oh, there she is.
Do you see that? What do you think about those the chest region there? Those look really like plastic, like a.
If Nicki Minaj and Dolly Parton and Ric Flair somehow all had a kid.
So. And by the way, after that spiel about, calling for a Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day, the board just said, this is a city issue. So she laughed. This is a city issue.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's drive-thru.
Oh, Ashley Cream. What a great name.
Alice said, if you ever get another radio job, I want that to be your on-air name.
That's your new persona.
Love it.
Is this anything? Ford is working on creating vehicles that would allow drivers to sleep while driving on the highway. Here's Ford CEO Jim Farley talking a little bit about this technology.
The bigger opportunity for us, irregardless of the time frame, is eyes off the road on highway driving. We feel like that is such a big unlock for customers. Think about your daily commute and being able to go to sleep in your car or whatever on a sunny day on the highway. What an unlock that is for customers. We just got more excited about that than, a fully autonomous fleet of vehicles someday in the future.
I got news for the Ford CEO. Tesla already beat you to the punch. There's footage of people asleep behind the wheel everywhere for a couple of years now.
Oh, hell, my buddy Dave was asleep behind the wheel years ago.
So was he really? Was he parked or was he driving?
Continue the story.
So does anybody think this is a bad idea?
Yes, this is a really bad idea.
Let's invent a car with so you don't even have to sit in the front seat. You can just sit in the back and sleep, and you'll get to work and get a little extra sack time in the meantime.
Like all these years growing up, we're told, 10 and 2, pay attention to the road. And now Ford's saying, screw it, go to bed. Get back here and go to sleep.
It's the CEO. Wow. No, this is nothing. I don't think that's anything.
We had to force Dave to pull over, and somebody else had to take the wheel.
Okay, that's the story. Just leave it at that.
Is this anything? A grandfather from Nashville is eating only McDonald's for 100 days to lose weight. Here he is at the start of his journey, breaking down his strategy of eating only Mickey D's to drop the pounds.
So I woke up this morning and I weighed in at 238 pounds, and I decided that is absolutely unacceptable. So I drove down to McDonald's. I know some of you are thinking that might be crazy, but I'm going to eat nothing but McDonald's for the next 100 days. But instead of eating everything they give me, I'm going to go ahead and cut the meals in half, just to kind of prove to myself and maybe some of the other people watching that it's not as much what you're eating, it's the quantity that we're eating that really jacks us up.
Okay, so his plan is to eat smaller portions than what he's served. That's the plan. I don't know if this is anything or not, but when you said McDonald's to lose weight, it reminded me of the Seinfeld episode where Jerry and Elaine hooked up. Sex to save the friendship. That's kind of like what this is. Wait, eat McDonald's to lose weight.
Right.
Like an epiphany, a light bulb goes off over this guy's head. I don't think you can just... It's going to have to take more than just eating McDonald's for 100 days and not eating the French fries or cutting the Big Mac in half. Probably needs some exercise, some cardio in there as well. I don't know if this is probably the best strategy. How about I don't think McDonald's serves broccoli.
No, McBroccoli sounds like crap, by the way.
Maybe mix in some fruits in there.
Didn't Lamar Odom once OD on Viagra at a cat house in Vegas while under the influence of crack to save his marriage?
Yes, that's right. Right.
So this is kind of the same deal. Like Jerry and Elaine, Lamar Odom and Chloe, and this grandpa from Nashville. They're all the same people. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Theme Week's family
Nights, Live a Dream trips, and more. Whether you're looking for a short-term rehabilitation stay or want to downsize with our independent living apartments, you'll find there's always something to celebrate at a Trilogy Senior Living community. Trilogy is proud to take care of seniors' day-to-day hassles so they can enjoy life with friends, family, and a staff committed to exceeding their expectations every day. Visit us today at www.trilogyhs.com/live to find out why Trilogy is where family comes to live.
Most people approaching retirement age are on the lookout for ways to save money. And when it comes to saving on your Medicare prescriptions, look no further than your neighborhood Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Fill your prescriptions at a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens participates with the AARP Medicare RX from United Healthcare, WellCare, and Cigna. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Gotta love it. The back half of the NBA season is here. Playoffs down the road a bit, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, super easy to use. You bet on everything from the money line to point scores to threes drained. I love the 2x3 bet for the NBA. 2 3-pointers scored in the first 3 minutes. You can hit big. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with those same game parlays. So don't miss out on the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/WIBC. That's FanDuel.com/WIBC. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9 with it.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Our tax refund sale is back. We guarantee you the lowest price, free delivery, interest-free financing, and now through Monday, we pay your sales tax on top of the sale price. Lowest prices of the year on Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, outdoor furniture by Berlin Gardens and Hollywood. Everything in the store is on sale now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Another construction project in Indy. Mostly clear skies. 72 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar. Lows to the upper 30s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 431. The Meridian Street Corridor is the latest construction project introduced by the city of Indianapolis. Chris Waters of Luna Language Services, which is located on Meridian, says the street is vital to the city.
Not only to the entertainment value of people in the north central suburbs and the people on the north side of Indianapolis, but really the economic, it's kind of a vital economic artery to our entire city.
Waters says this project could also help increase property value and safety for people taking the sidewalk. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are still trying to figure out a compromise before raising the debt ceiling. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre thinks they'll be talking more once Biden and House Republicans release their budgets.
The president's going to be putting forward his budget on March 9th, and we have called on Republicans in the House to do the same, to be transparent, to lay out exactly what it is that how they want to move forward with the fiscal year.
The U.S. has until June before it starts defaulting on its loans. Republicans want spending cuts in exchange for raising the limit. Community colleges like Ivy Tech are setting the example for workforce development, says First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. In Valparaiso today, Dr. Biden says dual credit courses and registered apprenticeships are vital for young students.
High school education just isn't enough for so many of the jobs of the 21st century.
She says the concept of community college is not Democrat or Republican, but an American idea that can help grow the economy from the middle out and bottom up. The average price for gas across Indiana today, $3.43 per gallon, according to Gas Buddy. That's an increase of 21 cents from where it was this time last week. Your stock report, the Dow finished up 40 points to 33,431. The NASDAQ down 13 today to 11,675. And the S&P 500 finishing up 2 to 4,048. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Hey, Tamer and Nigel for Window Nation. Have you noticed your energy costs have been rising dramatically? Nationwide, energy prices have increased over 14% since last year. It isn't too late to do something to fix your high energy bills. Beat the spring rush with the last month of off-season pricing at Window Nation. Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy with 0 down payment, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. New windows will pay for themselves with the energy savings on your energy bills, and you will pay nothing for 2 full years with 0% financing, saving you hundreds of dollars.
Go with the window company that has installed nearly 2 million windows, including mine. 866-90-NATION. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. No limit. Plus, no down payment, no payments, no interest for 24 months. This offer won't last long. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 434, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at Rockville Road right now. It is still stopped in both directions between Girls School Road and Country Club Road. Those westbound lanes backed up to 465. And then still sweeping up to crash aside. It's on the ramp from east to eastbound 465. Ramp is open, partially blocked. Inbound 65, stop and go west to the north split, and eastbound 70 drags from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, low temperatures in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, we start off with clouds. They decrease through the afternoon. Windy with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Oh, flip-flopping Fauci. Boo! Some emails got released that showed Fauci actually commissioned. He paid for a 2020 study that he then turned around to use to disprove the COVID lab leak theory in Wuhan.
The kids would call that covering your tracks.
Look, you have these 2 scientists in 2020 wrote a paper, told Fauci, like, hey, look, we think this virus is manufactured and not natural. And it was, it emerged right next to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And also the Chinese are being really super shady, hiding evidence that was there, letting their people travel to the United States as they knew a breakout was occurring.
Shocker.
So Fauci's response when these scientists are like, yeah, this probably came out, this is manufactured. He held a conference call with the guys that wrote the paper that alleged the engineered origins and basically strong-armed them into taking back what they said and then commissioning them to write a paper which said the complete exact opposite of what they had said hours before. And we know the reason for all this, of course, is because if that virus leaked out of a lab in Wuhan, a bunch of the funding for that gain-of-function research, gain-of-function, which kind of research makes the virus more lethal and more contagious, Fauci and the NIH probably paid for that testing themselves through EcoHealth Alliance. You see where I'm going with this? Lies and cover-ups.
And I'm sure it's just a coincidence that around that time, Jeffrey Zucker, who was in charge of CNN, told everybody at the network, we are not to even consider that this leaked from a lab. That conversation, that will not happen here at CNN. As a matter of fact, the guy that has that report out will join us tomorrow on this show. Bobby Burak is a writer for Outkick. He's got a story about that right now. He's going to come on with us tomorrow. But it's funny how things like that happen, and then CNN all of a sudden decides to play ball and do whatever they want to do as well. Now, listen, this goes to another conversation of, a lot of people are looking at Fox right now saying, hey, this whole Dominion thing, this looks bad on you guys. It's bad. And it does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But to act like any other network isn't, I don't want to say doing the same thing, but biased in that way is laughable. They're all biased, right? We know this. CNN, MSNBC, they're in the tank for the left. Fox, obviously, they work on the right. For any one group to point at the other one and go, well, you guys are just talking points for the political party. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. And we'll get into this a lot tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's bring this back to Dr. Fauci here. Great moments in flip-flopping Fauci history. Let's talk about masks.
People should not be walking around with masks. You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet.
Droplets!
But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. I feel that universal wearing of mask is one of 5 or 6 things that are very important in preventing the upsurge of infection.
Oh, come
and
on.
in turning around
World's biggest
the infections that we are seeing surging.
That is one of the biggest right there. And then you remember when Rob calls him failed Surgeon General Jerome Adams went on TV and was giving instructions for people to make masks out of T-shirts and bandanas.
Right. Who was the lunatic that wanted us to wear 2 or 3 masks? That was out there for a little while.
There's a long list of those lunatics.
Well, the mask flip-flopping is good, and it's always fun to play the hits. My favorite, the one that's close to my heart, is when Fauci says that, well, I didn't have anything to do with the lockdowns. I never suggested lockdowns.
I think we need to make sure that your listeners understand I didn't shut down anything. I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And the only way to do that is by draconian means of essentially shutting down a country. We know that we can do that if we shut down.
Well, I think one of the things you really need to do, to the extent that you can shut down temporarily the country, I think is important.
Well, if I knew at the time that shutting down would have such a dramatic effect on controlling the spread, obviously we would have shut down earlier.
Yeah.
We would have shut down earlier.
But he didn't have any control over it, I thought, at the beginning of that clip. I didn't have anything to do with it.
This is why I have no problem ripping this old, decrepit fool constantly, because he's a horrible person. He wanted to be a star so damn bad. He did every single interview, magazine covers. He is out there by the pool with his glasses in his mouth. He really thought he was hot, you know what, because of all this. And hell, he may be partially at fault for all of this kind of stuff. I mean, this story about the emails showing that he commissioned the 2020 study to disprove the lab leak from Wuhan. This is bad.
Yeah, and then the guys that wrote that study were just hours earlier telling him, yeah, this probably came from a lab. This was engineered. That looks, you talk about lies and cover-ups.
Meanwhile, in San Francisco, they're singing this.
Return of the mask.
Oh.
Who are you? Return of the mask.
Come on, man.
Return of the mask.
We know just what to do.
So California's COVID emergency is going to be expiring at the beginning of next month. And I guess this is starting to freak out some of the COVIDians in San Francisco. Both mask and vaccine mandates will be expiring, including for healthcare facilities.
Yeah.
Few people are aware, but the CDC's own healthcare mask requirements were dropped months ago.
Yeah, that was in September. So you'd have to wear one. So, if you go to a doctor's office now, and I've been to the emergency care on Christmas Day with my son because he had strep throat. I didn't even know they made me put on a mask.
Right.
But it wasn't at the behest of the CDC. They dropped those requirements. So it's either the facility themselves or a state thing.
So the CDC no longer makes you do that, but
in healthcare facilities.
Right, in healthcare facilities. But San Francisco's health officer, Susan Phillip, She has issued an order that will make it a crime to enter any of the 15 types of facilities, including healthcare facilities, prisons, nursing homes, and 12 other places without a well-fitted face mask.
Still doing this, huh?
A crime.
Yeah. Well, I remember somebody here in Indiana that tried to make it a crime once upon a time here a few years ago.
Yeah, that was.
Who was that? Who tried to put you in jail for not wearing a mask?
I believe that was one Governor Holcomb.
Oh, what do you know?
And the Attorney General's like, yeah, you can't do that. What the hell is wrong with you? So their response was, well, we have to go after the Attorney General at the time. I mean, it's so ridiculous. All right, coming up next, get ready.
Yeah, baby.
Biden madness. It's next.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, what happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire? Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all. Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, Janie, you know what one of my favorite things about high school sports is? Seeing young fans in the stands cheering on their community.
I love watching elementary-age kids wearing their team's colors, holding up homemade signs, faces painted, just full of hopes and dreams. I'm Janie Ulmer.
And I'm Brian Lewis. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. We're also both former student athletes who were once those young fans in the stands, dreaming about wearing a jersey for our high school one day.
When you support high school sports, you protect the next generation's dream of representing their high school with pride.
And you ensure the invaluable learning experience of education-based athletics is available for years to come.
So buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events, because it doesn't just support today's student athletes.
It supports tomorrow's too.
This is investing in your community. This is protecting their dream. This is your IHSAA.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Oh, you can feel the excitement in the air. Biden madness coming up right after a look at the roads with Matt Baer.
Westbound Rockville Road back up to 465 from Country Club, then inbound 65 stop and go. West Street to the north split. On the east side, southbound 465 slows Washington to South Shadeland Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Man, it's awesome outside. 72 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And let's do it. Let's do Biden madness.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
It's our tribute to March Madness.
Correct.
With our own spin on it, right?
Every day at this time, we take 2 sound bites of your president, and we'll play them for you. And it's your job to vote on Twitter. Which one do you think is the most embarrassing, ridiculous thing? And we will advance it in the tournament. So before we move on to today's matchup.
Yeah, I already forgot Friday.
Let's go back to Friday. Friday had the number 15 seed against the number 2 seed. The number 15 seed is when Joe Biden was speaking about revenge porn, and he clearly thinks that everybody in this country is like his worthless son Hunter and has tons of nudes on their phone, and they're just waiting for the right moment to post them online.
How many times have you heard, I'll bet everybody knows somebody somewhere along the line, that in an intimate relationship, what happened was the guy takes a revealing picture of his naked friend or whatever in a compromising position, and then, literally, in a sense, blackmails or mortifies that person. Sends it out, put it online.
I would like to know what compromising positions he had in mind. I just want to know. I mean, he could have gone further with that.
Right. I mean, you get a few ping pong balls out. You see what happens. So that was the number 15 seed. The number 2 seed, and I think this is a number 2 seed that could win the whole thing. Joe Biden giving an inspiring speech.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Oh boy, he hit a brick wall there, didn't he?
Boy, it just came crashing down by a 75% to 25% vote. Anyway, advances to the round of 8.
Okay.
Which brings us to today's matchup.
Yes.
We have the 11 seed against the number 6 seed. The number 11 seed is when Joe Biden was speaking to folks in the front lawn of the White House. He was getting ready for hurricane season. This was in August, and hurricane season was right around the corner. Now, keep in mind, things that affect people in Florida and Texas, areas where you get hurricanes. We're talking about winds. We're talking about flooding, power outages. Here's Joe Biden on how you can prepare for hurricane season.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Well, Nigel, my roof got blown off last night. I don't have any power, and I'm up to my crotch in ocean water. But thank God I got the Pfizer juice in me. Good Lord.
Okay. All right. So what seed was that?
That was the 11 seed.
All right.
Now, this is a very strong 6 seed. And the reason I say it's strong is because every once in a while, you want your president to remind everyone that he's the commander-in-chief, that what he says goes, that he's the boss of the free world.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
True international pressure.
True international pressure. Allison, you say it now.
True pressure.
Oh, a little
tongue roll
a
there.
little trill of the R.
So, again.
Oh, that's going to beat the 11 seed. I mean, the vaxxed hurricane thing was ridiculous. number one priority during a hurricane is make sure you're vaxxed.
Let me hear the repeated bit of that gibberish. Can we, Allison?
True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure.
You know, when we do Radiothon this year for the Salvation Army, instead of doing the bit where you make the people call in and play Kamala's laugh on repeat,
right?
I think we need to do that on repeat this year.
The true international
pressure. True international pressure.
The poll is now live. So you've got to go to Twitter and vote right now. Which one is more ridiculous, and which one do you want to advance to the round of 8? Joe Biden telling people to get vaxxed to get ready for hurricane season, or true international pressure? Vote right now on Twitter. Follow us, like us. As Joe Biden has said, send us revealing photos of your naked friends, whatever you want to do. At Hammer and Nigel, vote right now. You've got 23 hours.
I do have a buddy that's done that several times. Not to me, but he's single, and he's taken several revealing photos in compromising positions and sent it to other people.
Okay,
That's
did he
all
put it
I'm
out there for
saying.
everybody to see, or just select friends?
No, the person was expecting it on the other end. Yes.
Okay.
Right. But I mean, I've never done that before in my life.
Have you ever been
I've
in
never-
a compromising position, like Joe Biden has said? Has the word wow ever appeared on your anus? Nice.
It has never appeared on my anus. I'm proud to say.
Right now on Twitter, Jeff writes, both of these could make the Final Four.
Ooh.
Well, that's not going to happen because it's a head-to-head matchup. So vote right now on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. Which one is more ridiculous and you want to advance? It's Biden madness. Top stories next.
What really stands out about Shane Company is the vibe here. It's fun and welcoming. Hey there, I'm a Shane Company jewelry consultant, and my team and I will work together to make sure you have the best experience possible. We want you to feel at ease. It's a family business, and we'll treat you like family. We'll do whatever it takes to help you find what you're looking for, and respect your budget. There are a lot of great things we offer at Shane Company that other jewelers don't, like the largest selection of styles in every price range and endless options to personalize your jewelry. Did you know you can create a necklace or ring starting with one of our beautiful gemstones and then watch our master jewelers at work? That's right. There's a jeweler workshop here in our store. That means you can see firsthand the craftsmanship and attention to detail they put into everything they do. If you've never been here, visit us today and see what we have to offer. It's more than fine jewelry. It's a really fun time.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance.
If you don't live near a Low T Center or just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatments. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what the First Lady had to say during her stop in the Hoosier State today. There's another construction project in Indy that you should probably know about. And Jaden Arnold reports on a baby elephant at the Indianapolis Zoo. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A pledge for railroad safety after another derailment in Ohio. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A derailment over the weekend was the 4th in 5 months for Norfolk Southern, just in Ohio.
We're investigating all these incidents. We're cooperating with the NTSB. We're cooperating with the local, state, federal resources to make sure that we investigate them fully, understand what could be done better, and make Norfolk Southern an even safer railroad.
Senior Communications Manager Connor Spielmaker says they plan to add more of the devices that send alarms to the crew when there's overheating in a train's wheel sets, a suspected cause of last month's toxic train crash in East Palestine. The weekend derailment involved a train more than 2 miles long, but not any leak of hazardous materials. The Norfolk Southern CEO is due at a Senate hearing later this week. The FAA investigating another runway incident at Boston's Logan Airport. It happened this morning, involving 2 United Airlines Boeing 737s.
An official with the airline said both planes were preparing to depart, one to Newark, New Jersey, the other to Denver. The Federal Aviation Administration added the wing of the Newark-bound flight, as it was being pushed back by a tow vehicle, clipped the tail of the Denver-bound flight.
Fox's Gernal Scott, no injuries, but passengers were moved to other planes. Separately, a Massachusetts man faces federal charges accused of trying to open an emergency exit and stab a flight attendant during a United flight that was heading to Logan, where he was arrested last night. The White House says it's closely following the assault and kidnapping of 4 U.S. citizens in Mexico. Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre calling it unacceptable.
We will continue to coordinate with Mexico and push them to bring those responsible to justice.
The Mexican president has said the Americans were there to buy medicine, which hasn't been verified. They crossed the border from Texas into an area where 3 cartels compete for smuggling routes. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What she had to say. Partly cloudy, 71 degrees in downtown Indy. All clear on your radar. Low tonight down to 38. These clouds should stick around too. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Community colleges are vital to growing the economy, says First Lady Dr. Jill Biden.
And for many years, they've helped students from all communities, red and blue, urban and suburban, and everywhere in between, help you get the training that you need for the jobs of the future.
In Valparaiso Monday, Dr. Biden says high school just doesn't cut it when it comes to preparing students for high-paying jobs. She says that's why investments need to be made in community colleges like Ivy Tech. The city of Indianapolis has introduced another construction project. This time it's the Meridian Street Corridor. It's just one of several necessary projects, according to District 2 City County Councilor Keith Potts.
We have
an outdated road funding formula that comes from our state legislature.
And that needs to be fixed so Indy can increase road funding, says Potts. The toxic waste brought to Indiana from the Ohio train derailment was sent to a landfill in Putnam County, which is in Congressman Jim Baird's district.
My interest is maybe pausing this delivery process until we can identify those characteristics that are necessary to make sure it's safe.
The governor's already doing that with third-party lab testing. Baird tells All Indiana Politics that the EPA dropped the ball in failing to notify the state before bringing the soil over to Indiana. The Indianapolis Zoo is trumpeting their latest news, and it's not just peanuts and hay. Jaden Arnold has the story.
Zahara, an African elephant at the Indianapolis Zoo, is currently in the 15th month of her 22-month pregnancy. The zoo is well known for its successful African elephant reproduction, and a recent ultrasound confirmed that the calf is developing well.
So this is spine right there, and there's rib shadows, those bright white lines going down that way. So you can see this little contraction there, and that's actually the heartbeat.
The calf will be the third generation in the herd. Zahara's mother, Ivory, is 41, and Zahara is currently the youngest elephant among the 5 elephants. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Traffic and weather's next. It's 5:04.
I like to be active, and as you get older, I know it because I am older. You're more prone to injury, and I could not get rid of the pain.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson talking about how a hiking injury left her in awful pain.
No one wants to live in pain. I certainly don't want to live in pain. I don't have time for pain.
Diane had heard about regenerative medicine, so she called QC Kinetics and started treatment right away. And the results were incredible.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics, healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. There's no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime.
The result was phenomenal. I mean, I was not feeling any pain. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, this may be the solution you're looking for. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
It was a game changer.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, Southside crash, Kentucky, man. Then eastbound 465 is stop and go from Man Road past the White River. Inbound 65 stop and go West Street to the North Split. Eastbound 465 slows from Westfield Boulevard to I-69, and southbound 465 east side slow after Washington to South Shadeland. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for the lowest prices and up to $5,000 on top appliances. Brands like Electroflux. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, expert since 1930. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, low temperatures in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, we start off with clouds. They decrease through the afternoon. Windy with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
That's Jason Hammer over there. My name is Nigel. Man, have you ever had one of those moments where people you really don't like and disagree with say something that you actually do like and agree with?
Kind of puts you in a bind, doesn't it?
I hate agreeing with people. Perfect example of this. We've got two different examples of this. We'll start with Mayor Eric Adams of New York City. He's a law enforcement guy. He's a harsh on crime guy. Much better. I think he's heads and tails above.
He says he's a harsh on crime guy. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Well, yeah, but he's better than de Blasio was ever at the mayor. And then he had some crazy vaccine stuff and mandates and stuff like that. But he was pushing back against CNN, kind of doubling down on his Christian faith. He was recently speaking about his faith, and of course, liberals, even though he is a liberal Democrat, went crazy when Mayor Adams had this to say.
Don't tell me about no separation of church and state. State is the body, church is the heart. You take the heart out of the body dies. I can't separate my belief because I'm an elected official.
So that was controversial.
Talking about church and state and his beliefs, his faith.
Yeah, and liberal heads spun around. They don't want nothing to do with religion, first of all. They hate religion. Second of all, especially when you're talking about the separation of church and state, people get antsy.
Right. And it would be easy for Mayor Adams to go on to CNN and say, you know what?
I apologize.
Was fired up. I was speaking to, the group. I didn't think about it. But instead, in a rare moment where I will agree with anything Eric Adams is doing, he kind of doubled down on his faith.
This was with Dana Bash on CNN.
You also said you implement policies with a, quote, godlike approach and said, quote, when we took prayers out of schools, guns came into schools. You know that those comments alarmed some people, even some religious leaders, who were in the room. A rabbi who was there called it dangerous.
Well, listen, let's be clear on something. The last words I said after I was sworn in is, so help me God. On our dollar bill, we have, in God we trust. Every president touched a religious book when they were sworn in, except for 3. Faith is who I am. And anyone who takes those words as stating that I'm going to try to compel people to follow my religion, no. I'm a child of God. I believe that wholly. I'm going to follow the law. I'm not going to compel people who believe in whatever faith. It could be if you're in a synagogue, a Baptist church, a Buddhist temple. I'm in all of them. And that's what was in my service.
So whether or not Mayor Adams actually walks the walk, he's talking the talk right there, whether or not he actually lives out what he's talking about, the point is, you're never going to get me to back down about my faith. And I think we need more of that. I think that's genius. Once we took prayer out of school, the guns arrived. That is a great line.
And boy, you start talking about prayer and school, the Democrats' hair on their arms stand up. So here's another example of somebody that I don't necessarily like, but I found myself agreeing with this past weekend, and it's comedian Russell Brand. Now,
you don't like him, do you?
I have never really enjoyed, and I'm doing air quotes, the comedy of Russell Brand. He's this Australian actor, British, I don't know what he is, actor, comedian. He's been doing a lot of politics and podcasting, though, lately, talking about what's happening in the United States. So he was on this panel. It was Bill Maher's show, and he's on the panel with MSNBC's John Heilemann. And Heilemann's up there bumping his gums about how Fox News is a propaganda network. Only Fox is the propaganda network. And Russell Brand was like, now, hold on.
It's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, been on that MSNBC, mate, it was propagandist nutcrackery on there. I went on a show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on.
Good Morning Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes like Edward Snowden. No one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he's suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people. And I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous.
My friend,
Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
I was watching this too when it happened, and it was awesome. I mean, the MSNBC guy just didn't know what to say.
John Heilemann, you could clearly tell he's getting his panties in a wad because he didn't expect to go on Bill Maher's show and have MSNBC's credibility called out.
I'd like to hear a specific example, a provable-specific example of an MSNBC correspondent or anchor being on television saying something they knew was false and were saying behind the scenes to people, I'm allowed to go out and we know that the election wasn't stolen or something equivalent, but I will go out on television and say the opposite. I will lie.
When's my answer?
Just give me the specific example.
I understand the basic point.
Give me a specific example. Any of these organizations you're talking about, even on MSNBC ones, big deal.
My darling, it was more than enough.
You can't come out with
such a carry-on.
You know, when the F words come out, he's getting rattled a little bit. He's a little flustered.
Do you want an example?
Yes.
The ludicrous, outrageous criticisms of Joe Rogan around ivermectin, deliberately referring to it as a horse medicine when they know it's an effective medicine.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Rachel
example.
Maddow turning up on the TV saying if you take this vaccine, you're not going to get it when it hadn't been clinically trialed for transmission.
Non-responsive.
You have to listen.
Wait.
Do you think you can improve America by determinedly and avowedly condemning Fox News without acknowledging that you're participating in the same game?
I love it.
Again,
that's fire right there.
I found myself in a position to agree with Russell Brand because all of these networks do the same thing, but then they finger point at
Right.
Fox.
Oh, we're not doing that. But yeah, they all do the same thing, but it's Fox News this, evil Fox News, blah, 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 wham, 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 wham.
And look at all the settlements over the last couple of years. Look at how much money CNN and MSNBC have had to pay people like Nicholas Sandman.
Yeah, but and to the MSNBC guy's point, I mean, Fox News is going to have to pay a settlement to Dominion.
Yes.
The voting machines. I fully acknowledge that as well.
All right, we got Kevin Bowen coming up here in just a moment. He's going to talk a little March Madness, Purdue, Indiana style. But right now, Matt Baer is going to get us home.
Yes, southbound 65, stop and go traffic from West Street to Meridian Penn. Crash, Kentucky Avenue at Man Road. East side northbound 465, a little bit slow from 70 up to Penn Pike, and eastbound 465 slow out of Keystone over to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl, a fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's, limited time only. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on 24 instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. Not only Central Indiana's premier arms dealer, but they are also the home of PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms. They do a tremendous amount of estate buying. So they'll buy your used firearms and then they buy your used jewelry. You know, the stuff from grandma that nobody wears anymore, they're buying it and they have one-of-a-kind pieces that you are going to love. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, watches, the works. Check them out in Brownsburg, 317-858-3030 or online at premierarms.com.
You know, great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
Whatever your vision of retirement is that full retirement? Or is that a work optional lifestyle? Is that living in Indy? Or is it moving somewhere else? Maybe to Florida, maybe to the Smoky Mountains. Who knows? Whatever your vision of retirement is, work with the team at Howard Bailey because they will turn that vision into a reality. They customize every plan. There's no cookie cutter plan. Every single person is different. Every person has different visions of retirement. They base their plan off of your vision. So if you're ready to plan for your best retirement, go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Drip. Drip. Drip.
Annoying, isn't it?
Drip.
It's even worse when it's coming from your fireplace.
Drip.
That water stain on the ceiling isn't going to fix itself. Call Chimney Solutions Indiana. Their certified technicians will make sure your fireplace is ready for reliable comfort this season. Stop the
drip.
Call the experts trusted by thousands of Indiana homeowners. Call Chimney Solutions Indiana at 317-757-6979 or go to chimneyindy.com.
Why Window Nation? Why now? Well, first of all, they have an incredible deal going on. Hammer's going to tell you about that in just a few minutes. But 43% of your utility bill is heating cost. You could save up to 30% on your heating bills by installing brand new energy-efficient Window Nation windows at your home, just like I have.
Pay nothing, nada, zero for 24 months. Plus, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Any style of window from Window Nation. And the best part, there's no limit. So you're going to save thousands of dollars. Your energy bills will go down because your energy efficient windows will be put in. And Window Nation's the best in the business, and you don't pay anything for 2 years? What are you waiting for? Even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, or if you have questions, call Window Nation today. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
Hammer and Nigel show. Hello, my name is Nigel Jason Hammer, right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Kevin Bowen is one half of the morning show on our sister station, 107.5 The Fan. It's the Kevin and Query show. So, KB, I want to get your thoughts on the Colts here in just a moment, but the calendar says March, and we're going to talk a little basketball here. Both Purdue and Indiana double buys in this year's Big Ten tournament. The Boilers winning the Big Ten regular season championship outright. Indiana come from behind, crazy win last night in Assembly Hall. Where are we at with these two programs?
Well, yeah, I think both obviously ended the year on a nice note, although there was moments, particularly in Bloomington yesterday, where it didn't look great. I mean, the fact that both of them earned a double bye, I mean, Indiana, you would have thought that to be the case at the start of the season. Purdue, I get that mid-March and beyond gets so criticized, and understandably so, by fans of any team, particularly Purdue. But how are you not just very proud of what they accomplished? They just won the Big Ten as one of the youngest teams in major college basketball by 3 games. And to put that into perspective, that does not happen very often. I think it's just the second time since 2009 a Big Ten team has won the conference by that many games. And again, it's not like preseason expectations were through the roof for this Purdue team. They lost the top 5 pick, and they lost Travion Williams and a couple other starters. I mean, this was not supposed to be the overwhelming favorite in the Big Ten. For Indiana, it's been a roller coaster ride, certainly, but now all of a sudden they enter March, and you're thinking to themselves, okay, they could be a top 4 seed. There's still questions to be answered away from home about stringing multiple games together against NCAA tournament quality opponents. But the great thing for Indiana is they'll have one of, if not the best players in the country on the floor every single night in Trace Jackson Davis in the tournament. And Jalen Hood-Schifino, as a freshman guard, has shown the bright lights are not too big for him. And if you've got good guard play in March and he can give that for you, that is kind of a 2-man pairing that you could ride for a little bit.
Hey, KB, take me back to that Purdue game yesterday. Both those games were giving me heart attacks yesterday. By the way, I was just like, and I turned it off at halftime. I'm like,
try having money on them, Nige.
Right,
try having money on them.
Right. So Purdue was like up by 20 at halftime or something like that. I switched the channel, and then I eventually get a text from somebody. Oh my God, Purdue's about to lose the game, and I'm like, what? And so it's like, is there anything to be concerned about with the Boilermakers, or is that just kind of indicative of the way college basketball is sometimes? You got big leads at half times, and the team grinds it out to catch back up.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably look at it glass half full or glass half empty, to be totally honest. I think there is an element of that is college basketball, particularly in the conference. When you see these teams so often, and, for the most part, teams are pretty evenly matched. I will point to the first half and how they built a 21-point lead. And that is where, if I were a Purdue fan, I'd be, pretty encouraged, because they did that with Zach Edey, I think, playing 9 minutes in the first half. Brandon Newman, who's been a bench player for them pretty much all season long, has been in the starting lineup here for the last couple of games. They're looking for an offensive spark, because that has been an issue for them, particularly from the perimeter. And he gave them exactly that yesterday. And this is a guy that has always had some potential. You're just kind of waiting for him to put it together. So having said all that, Purdue's issues this year, too many turnovers. They're not shooting the ball well enough from behind the arc to be this is easily the best team in college basketball. The fact that they got something from Newman when Zach Edey wasn't playing a whole lot, and Fletcher Lawyer, their other kind of consistent guy, he wasn't really doing much either. I think that is encouraging. And now the question is, of course, can you bottle that up? Can it be reliable? Can it be reliable away from home? Those sorts of things. Because if Purdue does not get help like that, their stay in March is not going to be as deep as maybe their ranking of a number 1 or number 2 seed will be.
So one more thing here on the Boilers and the Hoosiers before we move on to Colts. The Big Ten tournament, it's shaping up here. We got Purdue as a number 1 seed, and they're going to play their first game Friday morning. Indiana is a number 3 seed. They're going to play late Friday night, around 9 o'clock. You look at this Big Ten tournament bracket, KB, there's a pretty solid chance we're looking at a Purdue versus Indiana final.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, and, first off, that's been very rare. They've only met once in Big Ten tournament history, and it's a tournament that goes back to the late 90s. So we have not gotten this rivalry on a neutral floor in, Indy, Chicago, wherever it's been. And Hammer, I'm sure you've already looked at it, knowing you and how you operate. If you look at the Vegas odds right now, I mean, first off, Purdue is a pretty almost even money favorite to win the tournament, and Indiana is the clear second favorite, and it drops a bit to find that third team. Northwestern's a 2 seed, but I don't think anybody thinks Northwestern's going to get on some run to win the Big Ten tournament. So, based off Vegas, they really like Purdue and Indiana to meet on Sunday, and obviously that would speak for itself in terms of what it would mean to our state. And then you kind of get into NCAA tournament seeding and all of that. Would that get Purdue a 1 seed? All of a sudden, would Indiana skyrocket up the NCAA tournament bracket field? Because there is a regional in Louisville. If you are a fan of Indiana or Purdue, you want them to be playing, I think, in Louisville for the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Just to think back to when Purdue was in the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight a few years ago, I mean, that was a huge environment for Purdue down there at the Yum Center. So that's just another wrinkle to think about here with the Big Ten tournament up in Chicago.
It's just such a bummer that Indy doesn't have any games this year, men or women, with the Big Ten tournament. The women's tournament wrapped up. Indiana was the 1 seed. Katie Gerald's and Purdue, they were good. The men's tournament this year, IU and Purdue, both good. And, of course, Indianapolis doesn't get any of those games. That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, and I don't understand it either for a couple of reasons. There's no NCAA tournament games here in Indy this year, so, it's not like from a scheduling standpoint, all of a sudden Gainbridge Fieldhouse is needed for more, games in the month of March. And then, 2, the women's tournament was in Minneapolis. And I know this goes back to Commissioner Kevin Warren when he was at the Big Ten. He's got connections to that area. But Minneapolis, can we get a little bit more centrally located for the entire Big Ten here? I didn't understand that.
So let's shift gears to the Colts. Last week, the NFL Combine, we saw the quarterbacks, and they showed up. Some worked out, some threw. They all did meetings and so forth. What are we hearing about the Colts and the search for a new QB?
Well, again, I'd be stunned if they did not draft a quarterback in round 1 here in late April. But, as far as the 4 quarterbacks are looked at, you can probably group them into 2 tiers. I know it's not exactly that even, but just for the sake of the discussion, we will. The top tier is C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, the 2 most accomplished Ohio State, Alabama respective quarterbacks, easily the 2 most accomplished college quarterbacks of this quartet that we're talking about here. Both led their teams to, great seasons when they were playing quarterback and, up there for Heisman Trophy, et cetera. The other 2 is Will Levis from Kentucky and Anthony Richardson from Florida. More based off potential and traits. They've got some physical attributes that you can't teach. And, can you teach some of the other stuff and kind of mold them out of the clay that they are? Richardson in particular just absolutely set the combine on fire of weighing north of 240 pounds, and he ran a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash and just did stuff that a defensive end or a tight end would do, not a quarterback would do. So now the question is, again, how much of the other stuff can you teach? He won 6 games in his college career at Florida. He only started for 1 season. He was a 50-some% passer. Are those athletic traits just that, or is that the making of a guy that if you give him some coaching and some development, he could turn into a pretty rare quarterback. So those would be some of the questions the Colts have to sift through. And then they also sit there at number 4 in the draft. So the other question becomes, all right, who do you like? How much do you like them? And how do you gauge the teams above you in terms of the need to trade up or not?
Where can we find more information about March Madness, the Colts offseason, the upcoming draft? Where can we go?
Yeah, website is loaded right now, 1075thefan.com. I've got 10 combine takeaways, so you get more into all this discussion. And, of course, looking ahead to Friday with Indiana and Purdue starting the Big Ten tournament runs. And then this time next week, we'll be looking at a bracket. So great time of year, and can't wait for it all to unfold.
KB, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, KB.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mock and Daisy coming up.
Yeah.
And then we got something special.
Do we tell it now? We've been talking about it.
Go ahead.
Moonshine Monday.
Moonshine Monday.
A new feature on the Hammer and Nigel show. Moonshine. We have Beer Sample Fridays and Moonshine Mondays now. That's called coming up next after a look at the news. 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What the First Lady was doing in Indiana. 69 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Radar looks good, though. Low drops to just below 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 528. Community colleges like Ivy Tech are setting the example for workforce development, says First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. In Valparaiso today, Dr. Biden says dual credit courses and registered apprenticeships are vital for young students.
You know, high school education just isn't enough for so many of the jobs of the 21st century.
She says the concept of community college is not Democrat or Republican, but an American idea that can help grow the economy from the middle out and bottom up. Officials insist there are no safety concerns following a second train derailment in Ohio. While hazmat teams were on the scene of Saturday's derailment near Springfield, local leaders say there was no spill of hazardous materials.
For tonight, mostly cloudy.
The second derailment comes not long after another Norfolk Southern train carrying hazardous materials derailed. A U.S. official is confirming gunmen assaulted and kidnapped 4 American citizens in northeastern Mexico Friday. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the Biden administration is monitoring that situation.
These sorts of attacks are unacceptable. Our thoughts are with the families of these individuals, and we stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance.
The group was traveling to a border city for medical procedures. An innocent Mexican citizen was also killed in the incident. That's according to the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. 2 newborn babies have been safely taken to safe haven baby boxes in the past week in Indiana.
One was dropped off at the Cleveland Township Fire Station in Elkhart. I'm John Herrick. The second was taken to the Wayne Township Fire Station in Indianapolis. They are the first 2 babies safely placed in baby boxes this year. 26 babies have been delivered to a baby box in Indiana since the first one was installed in 2017. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
With traffic at 5:30, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, eastbound 465, stop and go now before Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 drags 96 down to 82nd, and then they crash Kentucky Avenue at Man Road. Rockville Road is still really bad between Girls School and Country Club Road. Those westbound lanes are a mess. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, low temperatures in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, we start off with clouds. They decrease through the afternoon. Windy with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there hooking up live with the chicks on the right, chicksontheright.com. Mock and Daisy, you guys just got back from CPAC. It was in Florida, right? Or no, wait, was it in D.C.? I can't remember. Tell us what CPAC is, maybe the history of CPAC, and is it still relevant? Was it the same as previous years? Did you enjoy your experience at CPAC?
In Washington, D.C., and it was very sparse. It was empty, Nigel. It was like not a lot of people. The attendance was very sad this year.
Wow.
Very sad.
What's going on?
It's become the no. So people are there. I mean, we haven't been there since 2010, the first time back in 13 years. We remember in 2010 that it was well attended by a lot of young people, students, college kids, sort of thing. This year, no, like it was your diehard Trump crowd. It was the that dress up and like have all the Trump gear. It was a very, very Trumpy crowd. And I think, DeSantis stayed away. And the other people spoke, like Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, other people that Vivek Ramaswamy, who was running against Trump in the primary, they were not as well received, and there just wasn't as much of an interest this year.
Is it fair to say that it was boring? Because I've been following the coverage. Tony Katz was there, and he talked about the attendance at this thing. It didn't feel like there was any juice at this event, and it just looked really boring. Compare that to like 2016, where it was spirited, and it kind of had that March Madness kind of feel, where you had fans of one team over here, fans of another team over here. That wasn't the case this year.
Yeah, I would say that you're right about that. It was for us, it wasn't really boring because we were being handled. We were being like different radio shows on. So we didn't probably see it like people saw it. But what we could see, it was very one-sided. So team, because we're so fragmented now, right? Like Fox News wasn't even there, that's a state, right? The RNC wasn't there, which is also a statement. You can tell that as a party, we're becoming so fragmented, so divided. And so that was really weird. And yes, that makes it boring. It makes it like, it's like watching two SEC teams play, but then like one's like, we're just go ahead and bow out. Like, it's just like it's like watching one SEC team play. No, you know what I mean? It's bizarre, you guys. It's so weird what's happening to our party. We're just becoming so chambery on one thing. And honestly, this is really bad because the attendance going down for CPAC, you can almost see CPAC like gasping for air, like spiraling down the drain, like you're watching die in front of your eyes. It's really bizarre.
Was Donald Trump? I mean, look, I thought Donald Trump's speech was great. I mean, that was the highlight, probably, correct?
I mean, it was the main event, right? And like, he obviously drew the biggest crowd, but that's all relative considering that the crowd was substantially lower and smaller than in years prior. So I think there's still the people, diehard Trump fans, I'm sure had a fantastic time attending his speech as they do any other of his rallies. The overall feel of the whole event was very low energy, I would say.
Jeb Bush, very Jeb Bushish. And by the way, the straw poll, I understand. I mean, Donald Trump ran away with that straw poll that happens at CPAC between him and DeSantis. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Surprise!
The event that loves Donald Trump had him winning the poll. I'm shocked. I can't believe that.
It's like none of us were shocked. I mean, who's shocked by that? Raise your hand.
Mock is here. Daisy is here. The chick's on the right. So let's go to the other side of the political aisle here. And a story that feels like it should be a big deal is that nobody really knows what's going on with John Fetterman. There's a sitting United States senator, and we have no idea the condition of his health. His wife is out going on vacations, doing all types of things while he's in the hospital here. I just want to get your thoughts. Mock, we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, his wife that's a weird woman, right? I mean, so yeah, the fact that she's like traipsing around Niagara Falls while her husband, who she presumably loves, is like waist day in a hospital dealing with clinical depression that is bad enough that he's hospitalized for it is just an odd, weird thing that she would be leaving his side. But also the rumors that are going around that he's like brain dead and all that stuff, it would be really it would solve a lot of issues. It would just come out and give, he could do like a quick video and just say, here's how I'm doing. I'm fighting this with everything I've got, whatever. But no one knows what is going on. And that makes the rumor mill go like steam ahead, right? You can't stop it once that kind of stuff gets going.
Yeah. And if you decide or you dare to ask questions or you dare to say anything about this man, then you're a horrible human being. for even daring to do that, and when he shouldn't even freaking be first place.
And I'm very impressed by Fetterman, actually. He has the ability from a hospital, clinical depression, suffering from the after effects of a stroke, to sign on to a bipartisan bill about railroad legislation.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I know they've got to play this game, right? Because if he doesn't come back right away, because all the rumors are, who even knows if he is going to come back, if he can come back, but they have to make it to a certain date in August, right, to avoid having a special election. And so I know that that's important to them. If they could just kind of keep everything status quo until they get past that point, then they can just they can just appoint his wife to replace him, and they won't have to deal with an election.
Mock is here. Daisy is here. They are the chicks on the right. Daisy, since the last time we spoke, our close personal friend Lori Lightfoot went down in flames in Chicago, finishing a very distant third in their mayoral process here. And now she's claiming that it's racist, it's sexist that she did not win, despite the fact there's a freaking black guy that's in the top 2 that beat her. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, this is what you can't look at what she's done to that city and see otherwise. I mean, hello, are you blind? The city is like a complete hellscape right now. I used to live in Chicago, and I was a single woman, and I'd feel comfortable and safe walking around that city. And there is no way on God's green earth that I would do that right now. There's no way I would walk around by myself in that city. It is not safe to do so. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. And she's responsible for that. She is single-handedly responsible for it. So for her to say it's sexist, it's racist, blah. I mean, people are getting rid of her because she did a terrible freaking job. Now, I heard that the dudes who want to replace her, like one of them, his solution to it is to defund the police. So I don't know if the replacements that are trying to get in her place are going to actually do a better job, or to clean. I mean, I fear for the further demise of that city. It's just a shame what's happening.
And Daisy, as bad as you say Chicago is, and I agree with you, does this give cities like Indianapolis hope that maybe this is the year they can eliminate their worthless pain in the ass mayor? Because if you look at it, Indianapolis has a higher homicide rate per capita than Chicago does right now. So does this give cities like Indianapolis a little bit of hope that, maybe there is a breaking point for super liberal cities?
Let's hope. I mean, let's hope. I feel like everybody has a breaking point, right? We all want to be safe in our cities. I would hope that we want that. And so let's hope that he can turn it around.
Well, and what I was going to say about this idea of her trying to blame the fact that she's not in the top 3 or not going into the runoff on her race and gender, how does she explain the fact that she was elected in the first place? That use is so stupid. I mean, you're literally mayor right now.
All right, we're hooking up with the chicks on the right. What's new at chicksontheright.com? What are you guys working on?
Oh yeah, I'm actually working right now on just our recap of CPAC and everything that we experienced while we were there. So I'll have that up this afternoon. And then of course there's always crazy, right? We're always talking about that. It's like I do a segment every day on the whack that happens. And I feel like every story that we do is just whack. So I don't even know why I have that little segment every day, because everything we talk about is whack. But yeah, we just, there's always stuff going on, you guys. Every day we do an hour chocked full every morning of the news stories a day. And it's just full of crazy.
Are people hooking up at CPAC? Is it like the Olympic Village where everybody's just banging everybody? Does that happen at CPAC?
Daisy made out with Tony Cat.
I did not.
Good Lord.
Oh my God. I did not. That is false.
I watched it happen.
Did not. There are people that Ben Franklin there. They dress up as adult people that are cosplaying Ben Flynn. You know what I mean?
But it's not like the Olympic Village where they're passing out condoms when you walk in and say, hey, we know what's going to happen here. Just be careful.
No, I think it used to be that way. I really do, Jason. I think there were young people and they're all hooking up. But honestly, I think a lot of those people are going to different venues now. They're going to different events because there are so many more events other than CPAC now.
No, like Turning Point.
And so young people are seeking, like Team USA and stuff like that. Like the young horny people are like seeking out the things.
And ever since Mock got married, that stuff stopped. I mean, that's really what the cutting point was. Once Mock got married, all of those shenanigans stopped at CPAC.
Right. She's done. She used to be fun. And it's like, no longer.
Ladies, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Nigel, we've got an all-new segment coming up. Please tell me what's coming up next.
We are calling this segment Moonshine Monday.
Yeah!
I've got a person, shall we say, in Decatur County. This isn't like liquor store, made like with all the this is the real stuff.
This is like Uncle Jesse and Dukes of Hazzard here.
I've got like 18 different mason jars, different flavors. So, yes, we're going to test an all-new moonshine flavor coming up next.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Through all the work I've been doing on my mental health, I've learned something invaluable, and that's to give the world a little bit of grace. Show people the same patience that I want them to show me. Yeah, really. Matt Bear here. Hi. Therapy, which has been so huge in my life, has deepened my self-awareness. Sometimes we just don't know what we want or how to react until we talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery. And the benefits are so many. I do sleep better, and my anxiety is finally in check. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and totally with your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, and they match you up with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/WIBC today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/WIBC.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we're experienced in everything from boilers to furnaces, ductwork and all. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Woodard, Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl. A fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's, limited time only.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at a crash south side, South Fort Road, east of 31. Northeast side, eastbound 465, a lot better. Still a little slow in parts from Keystone Avenue over to I-69. East side, northbound 465, it slows after 70 up to 69. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
70 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place and time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine. Just let the moon.
All right, it's the Hammer and Nigel Show, new segment, Moonshine Mondays. And here's the drill. So, and by the way, an entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel Show coming up. If you missed any of Trump's speech at CPAC over the weekend, it was pretty funny. There were some good references in there, some, hearkening back to the old days of Twitter. But so here's the deal. Moonshine Mondays. My wife's Aunt Jen has a source down there.
She's got a contact.
She's got a contact in the backwoods of Decatur County.
It's Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right. They're big fans of the show. They listen, and they make their own moonshine. And I'm not talking about the stuff you buy in the liquor store that has like high fructose corn syrup or artificial ingredients. There's a shed somewhere in the backwoods of Decatur County with all the equipment to make this stuff. So look at, and I'll throw it up on Twitter, but
look at that.
This is a cooler full of mini mason jars full of tons of different moonshine. Some of them are labeled.
Okay, what's the one we're doing today?
Okay,
because you've got a whole bag full of like backwoods goodness here.
So wow, there's more than I thought in here too.
This is going to be my new favorite segment, by the way, Moonshine Monday.
So we'll try this one later. It's like one's labeled caramel, right?
Okay. One
is labeled apple.
Okay, and when you say label, it's written on with a Sharpie.
Yeah, there's a Sharpie. It's a mini mason jar with a Sharpie. Now look at this. Here's the one I decided to try here, right there.
It just says F.
It's got the letter F on it.
That's all it says is F. I can't wait.
I don't know much about moonshine or the production of moonshine. That F could stand for fruit. It could stand for fire. It could stand for formaldehyde. I don't know. We're about to take our first sip here, and again, the makers of this is the real stuff. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff they used to run back in Appalachia, down to the hills.
That's kind of how NASCAR got its start, the bootlegging.
So I don't know what this flavor is. It just says F on this particular mini mason jar.
Well,
and let's
F
go.
you, my friend. Cheers.
Ooh.
Woo!
Oh, fire. I think
F is fire.
Maybe
F is fire.
Some fireball flavor in it. Some cinnamon, some high octane cinnamon tasting fireball style of alcohol right here. But
I just grew more hair on my chest. Wow.
This is beginning to be my new favorite segment. Fridays we do beer sample Fridays, but for as long as the different styles of moonshine last here for the next several weeks, we're doing Moonshine Mondays on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Cheers to the fire, the F. Another hour to go. Coming up, it's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Woo! In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the